I'm Sonia Dostey, the Public Information Officer, and I am here with our CAO, Paul Nerland. Before we get started with a few questions that you might want to say hello and kind of tell everybody about the new year, what your thoughts are, and kind of coming out of last year, anything that you would like to share with all of our county family.
Yeah, thank you, Sonia, and thank you for joining, and thank you for the questions. Some great questions have come in to date, and I just want to start by wishing everybody a Happy New Year. I know that we're partway into the year, but we started this year with a very busy time. As most of you know, we experienced storms one after the other, and in doing that, we activated our Emergency Operations Center, and our county departments were very, very busy. And so really, I want to start this video by just saying thank you. There were so many employees that went above and beyond to respond, whether it be our Emergency Operations Center employees, those leading it in our Public Health Department, whether it be our Public Works employees, especially the road crews who are up there repairing roads, clearing roads, and just really at a record pace getting roads reopened. Our Sheriff's Office and the employees that are up there making sure that people were safe and they had food. The American Red Cross was a part of that effort, our Internal Services Department, and so many more. So it was a very busy couple of weeks coming into the new year. But again, the county rose to the challenge, and I'm very proud of the way the County of Fresno responded to that effort. And for those of you that are listening to this from myself and the Board of Supervisors, thank you for your efforts. They are noticed and recognized.
So Paul, for the new year, what do you want to share with everyone? What are just some quick thoughts that you want to brief everybody on?
So I want our employees to know that although, again, we face challenges, I'm optimistic about the future and this year. Some of the things we're watching very closely, as we've talked about before, of course, is the economy. And the effect that has on our revenue as we go forward. And so when you see housing sales down, when you see housing prices down, that has a direct impact on one of our main revenue sources, and that's property tax. And so thankfully, we budgeted very conservatively last year, and I'm confident that we'll be okay moving forward. But that, in concert with the state budget, which has been released, but until the May revise, which comes out later this year, we're watching that very carefully so that we know the impact on the county. I also can say that we're engaging with the state and with our federal partners on key issues in this county, like homelessness and other areas where we need to do better at partnering with other agencies like the city, like the state, to know whose role is what. And sometimes it's confusing who does what, but there's some things we're doing to clarify that to work better. And so I'm optimistic and excited, but the budget is something that we're watching closely as we prepare for what will be the economic impact of this new year.
So Paul, I know you wanted to make an announcement about CSAC, which is an acronym that represents the California State Association of Counties. What is happening here in the county where people can participate?
Yeah, I'm so proud of this. So CSAC has courses that they offer. It's called the Institute for Excellence in County Government, and this training is just top-notch. It's a public sector focused training. It's designed by county executives or former county executives for county employees. And it gives you a taste of really, if you want to be successful in the public sector, it's broad enough that you can take classes with a cohort of people who are other fellow county employees. I serve on the board of the CSAC Institute that oversees these classes, so I work very closely with them and care deeply about these classes. But one of the things I can say is we just had a cohort go through and graduate from 13 classes this last year, and you were one of them. In fact, maybe you can share with the rest of the employees watching this. What did you receive after that?
Well, for me, I have my little pin here, and so this is just one of the many benefits, is getting this beautiful plaque. But the greater benefit was taking courses on everything from leadership, conflict resolution. I learned a lot about county budgets, which was something that was new to me. And I think actually what I loved most of all was being able to interact with all the different leaders from throughout the county. We all got together once a month, we had lunch together, and we learned together. We were in work groups together. And it was exciting to now see that I get to work with these people throughout the county. I came away just having learned so much about the county, and I think my own leadership skills, have been honed as a result. I feel like, I've learned so much, and I can't wait to see how it's going to, help propel a lot of people throughout the county to become greater leaders.
So we have 13 slots open for the new cohort. If you're interested in that, contact our Human Resources training area. David McCurry in particular, and they can help get you information to sign up for this excellent program. And we recently recognized those who graduated at the Board of Supervisors, just showing how important this is to us. We had the Executive Director of CSAC here to recognize, so perhaps you could be one of those next year receiving that recognition. And even as you're applying for positions or promotional opportunities in the county, this is something that's important to me and shows that our employees are trying to better themselves and learn more. So I encourage you, if you haven't, take a look at this excellent training.
So let's go into our questions now. One of the questions that has come up persistently when we just started this whole process is about the issue of health insurance. When a family is maybe a family of two, maybe a parent and a child, some have asked, well, why do they pay for the same amount of health benefits or insurance as someone who might be a family of maybe a husband, two spouses as well as several children. Explain how that works, because some people, that looks like there's an inequity there.
Yeah, so there's different ways that benefit plans can be set up to account for that. Currently, we have it set up where you're either employee only, you're an employee with a child or children, as many as you may have, an employee with a spouse, or what they just say, employee plus family. We currently have an average dependent count of about 2.36 on the plan. So between 2 and 3 is the average across the board. And our employees have said that from an equity standpoint, it was actually better for the county to have one rate, because typically we have more dependents on the plan, and we actually probably pay less overall than we would if we did it the other way. And so the other way is something that we could do, but overall, the county population benefits from doing it this way. We have a health benefits advisory committee, and they're part of this oversight, and so they have also recognized that this is something that's better overall for the number of dependents that we have in our plans.
The next question is also kind of going along with insurance. It's about retirement. Someone asked, well, how will the county improve our retirement plan and gear it closer to the previous tiers, since some believe that the tier 5 is not it's not as attractive as the previous tiers?
For those who don't know, a number of years ago, the state actually passed a law. It was called PEPRA, and it required counties to change their retirement to a lower benefit level than what had been in the past. So it likely will not match the higher tiers that we once had that frankly were getting to be unaffordable for the county and the state. However, we do need to look at other options to make sure that our new employees have ways to save for retirement. So one of the ways that we've addressed that is having a match for the 457 deferred compensation plan. And so if you're watching this and you haven't participated in that, never leave any money on the table. If the county is offering money that if you put money in, it will be matched, strongly encourage taking full advantage of that.
And so then going to salary discrepancies, you previously stated that the board is reviewing many positions, salaries, even titles throughout the county, and trying to do some comparison with other counties and maybe other government entities to basically see if we could be more competitive. So for example, some positions in the county have higher educational qualifications, but maybe lower salaries compared to other counties. So what are the ways that the board and the CAO's office are trying to address those issues to make sure that there is, again, it goes back to some, I think, perceptions of equity?
For those who are in a position where we have a hard time recruiting or retaining employees, it's never fast enough. We want to address it as fast as we can so we can both recruit and retain quality employees. I want you to know that our department heads are strong advocates for the employees that work for them to make sure that we have positions that are equitable, and they are engaging me directly along with human resources to make sure we respond to these things quickly. Human Resources has been looking to make sure, typically we look at multiple counties, also sometimes cities, to see where we compare. But at minimum, our goal has been to be best in the valley. And that sounds great, but it's not always just flat salary. Sometimes it's a total benefit. What are we paying overall? That includes health insurance, that includes retirement, to make sure that we're in a better place. As far as the minimum qualifications, and that is part of HR's review, but they don't only look at that. They look at the market both internally, they look externally at the market, and then can we fill this position? So I know they have a long list. They have done quite a bit. I want to give credit to our Human Resources Department for the work they've done. This last year, we've seen a lot of salary increases, but I'll be frank and honest, we have a lot more work to do. And department heads are advocating and directly engaging me. So one of my jobs as CAO, as I work with Human Resources, is we have so many needs. we need to prioritize and find out where do we make these things address them first. And that's a challenge, but we have a lot of them coming, but they are being addressed.
So Paul, another question is, some employees want to know, what are the different options out there for health benefits once they retire?
If you retire from the county, right now most employees take advantage of what's called COBRA. There's federal COBRA that's 18 months, and then there's state COBRA. So really for 3 years, you've got guaranteed that the rates you're enjoying benefits right now through the county are guaranteed if you pay for the full premium. Many of our employees are doing just that. And so when they leave, they're continuing to keep the COBRA coverage. The county does offer one pre-65 plan for employees if they choose to take advantage of retirement benefits. Some choose to go elsewhere. But if you're on Medicare, there's also 2 Medicare plans that are available to county employees that may be better than what you can get on the private market. So there are plans available, and just encourage the employee who asks to check with our employee benefits area to look at that. Is that something that we could also do more on when it looks at our retirement? And it is. It's something that we may want to look at in the future for plans that we could set up that could make them more affordable for our employees who are retiring.
If you do have additional questions that you would like to submit, please do that at this particular email at the bottom of the screen if you would like to ask some more questions for a future video. But any parting thoughts?
Thank you, Sonia, and again to our employees. There's really no question off limits, and I appreciate the opportunity to address you directly. If I hit a question and perhaps you think we need to hit it more detail, I'm also happy to do that. And also, if you want to reach out to my office to share more detail about a question that perhaps we can address, I look forward to doing more of these, and we've got some other exciting things coming that I can't wait to tell you about in the coming months. And so looking forward to that, but thank you, and thank you again for watching.